My name is Morgan Rickert. I'm the Executive Director for Sports for the YMCA Fort Worth.
And I'm AJ McCleod. I'm the sports director for the Northpark, Northwest, and Airport locations this year.
And AJ just joined us in July, so he's brand new coming in from Lubbock. So I'll let him tell you a little bit about himself.
So I'm originally from Lubbock, born and raised. I've been working for the YMCA. I've been the team director, and I've run a couple of boys and girls clubs out there. So sports is my thing.
Yep, so we're excited to have him. So for those of you all participating in the North branches, he will be your main program contact. And I'm going to go ahead and pull up the PowerPoint for us to go through. All right, so this right here is our contact information. What's missing from mine is the McDonald Y as well. So I'm overseeing Benbrook, Hood County, Joshua, Ryan, Sports Complex, and the McDonald Y. And then AJ's 3 branches are down here as well. Email is always the quickest way to get a hold of us, just since we are at multiple branches. We're not always by the phone that's linked to us, so our voicemails go to our email. But if you have a quick question or a more in-depth question that we need to look up information for, email is best for that. What we do ask is that you include the location that you're inquiring about and your child's name and the sport they're participating in. That just helps us narrow down who we're looking for when answering your questions. So if you're new to the Y, our mission and philosophy here is to put Christian principles into practice through building programs that build a healthy spirit, mind, and body for all. So I know I've already talked to a few parents about being new, that their kids never participated in sports before, and that is completely fine. We have kids that are just starting out in every single age group. So that's what this league is for. We have more experienced kids that get to, play with the kids that are brand new and get to be good mentors to them and make sure that everyone gets to make new friends and learn new skills. And so with that, we do expect all of our kids to participate and to get equal playing time. So we covered this in our coaches meeting with the coaches that, unless a kid is not feeling well or they're injured, they should be getting equal playing time as everyone else on the team. If for some reason they're sitting out because they don't want to play or that they're injured, we just ask them to let the referee and the parent know. That way we're not wondering why a kid's sitting on the bench during the game for more time than they should be, just to have that communication. But otherwise, everyone should be getting equal playing time. And then we've also covered that players should not be penalized playing time for missing a practice. We understand that the majority of the time it's out of the player's control if they're missing or if they're late. But as a parent, we do ask you guys to communicate that with your coach so they know if you're going to be late or if you're missing, how many kids to expect. And so that way they can plan their practices and their game plans accordingly. And so for those of you who haven't heard about our annual campaign. This is something that we do every single year in every aspect of the Y to raise money to fund our scholarship program. So this will cover scholarships for families getting memberships, swim lessons, sports, day camp, anything to go that you have to pay for at the Y. We offer a scholarship, so that way no one is turned away due to an inability to pay. And so this year is really exciting because the sports department actually has its own fundraising goal this year. So we'll be reaching out to coaches and teams about opportunities to get involved this fall, since the fall is our big push for campaign. And we'll have some exciting opportunities to get involved, and that will directly impact the sports leagues.
So parent participation and demeanor. We always want you to support your teams and be encouraging. The kids will feed off your reactions. So being positive is very important to us for our kids' sake. Like we said, this is inclusive of all ranges of levels of play. So we want all of our kids to feel included. Coaches, parents, and players should always respect YMCA staff, officials, and opposing players and parents. One good rule of thumb that we use is if you want to say it to your kid, don't say it to another person's kid. Think about how some of our officials are high school kids, so they're not going to be perfect. So don't hold that against them. Most of these and all of our coaches are volunteers, and they're not getting paid for this. So be grateful, be thankful, have fun. This is non-competitive league, so we just want our kids to enjoy it and have fun, and that feeds off your energy. And the same thing with your kids. Relay that message that you want them to be positive and have fun during our league.
And we've also let the coaches know too that we are doing a Sportsmanship of the Week award. So for those who have participated before, you've probably seen emails go out about this. So after week one, after the coaches get to know the players a little more, we'll ask coaches that if they feel they had a child that week that demonstrated the YMCA core values of caring, honesty, respect, responsibility, or faith, that they send us a couple sentences on why they would like to nominate that kid for the award. And then AJ and I'll go through our programs and we'll pick one nomination from each program and present them with a t-shirt before the next game and recognize them. We'll take a picture of them with their team and then we'll send it out in our weekly email. So it's super exciting. We usually surprise the kids beforehand so they don't know what's happening. So it's just a fun thing to do and to recognize sportsmanship and get the kids talking more about what sportsmanship is.
And if you want to be one of those coaches who select those kids who receive that sportsmanship award, all of our coaches are volunteers. Most are parents of a kid on that team. They must be cleared through a background check and the application. In order to coach, you'll receive a t-shirt that says you're the coach. So we're looking for parents to help out as much as possible. So if you're willing to coach, fill out our application, fill out our background check, and remember that all of these coaches are volunteers, so don't be down their throats during the season. Be positive, and we hope to see you guys out there.
Yeah, and that's the main thing is that even if you can't commit to coaching, commit to supporting your coach. So if you can help out on the sidelines, if you can help out during a practice, just know that, most of these coaches, they have jobs during the day, they come after, they go coach practice, they take time out on the weekends to coach. So really support them and help however you can. And then for team practices, the coaches are in charge of scheduling those practices. So they determine the practice location, day, and time. We understand that once you get your team assignment, you might find out that maybe that practice day doesn't work for you. You can email AJ or I, and we'll see if there is a team with an opening that might practice on a different day. We haven't gotten all that information from coaches yet, but if we can transfer you before the season starts, we'll do our best to try and make that work out. And then practices can begin as early as August 30th. Now, that does not mean that every practice begins on August 30th. Teams are allowed to start practicing that week. Your team might not. So it depends on the coach's availability, the player's availability. You might not start till after Labor Day. We do this so that way it's 2 weeks before the season and you guys can get at least one practice in before the season starts. So if you guys don't practice that first week, that's completely fine. We just try and give teams enough time to get in communication with each other and then at least get one practice in, especially if we get a rain out or something like that. And then Player Space is going to be our communication platform and how we build the rosters, how we do the scheduling, how we send out messaging, all of that. So if your team, decides to have its own group text, that's completely fine. But just note that any communication coming from the YMCA is going to come through Player Space. So you need to be monitoring your emails for that notification as well. So when you guys are viewing this video, you'll be getting access to the Player Space app, and so it'll be an email that says, hey, you've, here's your link to log in. So you'll be able to log in. You can do it on an app, which is in the App Store, or you can do it on your computer. Either way. You'll be able to see your team. You'll be able to see your coach's name. You'll be able to view, when game schedules are posted in there. You can do that as well. Practice schedules will not be in there unless you are practicing at the sports complex, because every time we have to add each practice location. And so since we don't know where every team practices and we could have upwards of 50 different locations across the association, the only one that is directly scheduled through me is the sports complex. So for those teams, if your team chooses to practice there, that'll be in there. Otherwise, your coach will let you know about your practice. It just won't be in Player Space. And then we will have the game schedules 1 week before the season starts. So it'll be done on the end of the day on September 3rd. And you will receive a notification as soon as those are published. So just look out for that.
Of course, all of our rules can be found on our website at ymcafw.org/program/sports. A few of the rules that we want you to know is our 3 and 4 year olds are playing 4v4 with a limit of 8 players per team. Our 5 and 6 are 6v6 with a limit of 10 players. Our 7 and 8 is 7v7 with a limit of 12 players. And our 9 through 12 this year is going up to 9v9 with a limit of 14 players. For our 3 and 4 and our 5 and 6 year olds, a coach can be on the field to assist them. Only one head coach and one assistant coach is permitted to be on the bench or in the area on the field. And they must have completed a volunteer application and be wearing a coach's shirt. So if you've been a coach before, it doesn't matter what color shirt. We just want you guys to be able to recognize those coaches by having on those Y coaches shirt. Playing of illegal or ineligible players will result in suspension. So if you have a coach who's allowing a player who isn't signed up or isn't on your team roster to play, please let us know. That's very important to us. So that way we're not taking time away from kids who are signed up or having kids play in different divisions when they're not supposed to be. Any misbehavior, physical or verbal, from coaches, parents, or players will result in suspension. Again, we want this to be a positive league, and we need your help in letting us know if you hear any of those verbal or physical abuses by coaches, parents, or other players. Just please keep us aware because we can't be everywhere. As we said, we have multiple sites. We need your help.
Absolutely. And so for the uniforms, this is a mock-up of what the uniform will look like. We'll have different colors, but they will be striped, so it'll have 2 different colors on it. The YMCA will provide the jersey. The parents will provide the shorts, the shoes. We do not have a specific color of anything that you need to get for shorts or shoes. If your team wants to have black shorts or neon yellow shorts, that's fine. Or if you want to pick your own, that's fine. For shoes, you can do cleats or tennis shoes. Either one is completely fine. And then every child does need to have a shin guard. So you will have to wear shin guards underneath their socks. And again, the socks can be any color you want as well. We have kids that come out there with unicorns on them or dinosaurs or something, or just plain. It's completely up to you guys. And so we will notify the coaches when the uniforms arrive. We typically get the first 2 jersey orders in before the season starts. And then for kids that register late or switch teams late, then we have to place a 3rd order after the season starts. But it does come in pretty close to the first game. So just know we've already told the coaches. We will notify them. We will not hold the jerseys for weeks and weeks. As soon as they come in, as soon as we sort them and get them ready to go, we will email the coaches for pickup. And then each jersey bag will have a roster on it that includes the size of the jersey that was ordered for each child. And if someone's registered late and their jersey is not in there, then we will have their name highlighted. So we've been very clear with the coaches that the kids should not be given a different size than they ordered because that really messes up the inventory. And we're going to have between soccer and volleyball close to 2,000 kids, and we are going to do our very best to keep it organized. But we also need the coaches' help as well to make sure that the wrong sizes and jerseys aren't being given out to the wrong kids. And then what's going on this week is coaches are starting to receive their rosters. Some coaches have already had their volunteer applications submitted because they've been coaching for a while, so they get their rosters first. Some of them are still going through that process and finishing it up, so we just can't give them access until that's completed and cleared. And so we've asked coaches to make sure that they contact the parents by August 24th. That way it gives them time to, if they don't have their volunteer application in, it gives them time to get that in and then still contact parents over the weekend. And then soccer games do begin on September 11th. That's going to be our first day of games. And then this is something that we have to go over every season, and we have multiple people in the situation every season. It is not uncommon and it is not out of the ordinary. So we are still looking for a lot of coaches for our soccer leagues and pretty much every single division. And so we go and we have early registration until August 22nd. So we're doing things a little earlier this year since we know folks are getting back to school and you have a lot going on. We're trying to get information out earlier. But we do have early registration going till August 22nd. So that's when the bulk of our registrations will come in over the weekend. And we will be getting all the last minute registrations on rosters on Monday, and then we'll be contacting parents that are on a no coach team on Monday, August 23rd, and letting you know, hey, you're on a no coach team. Would anybody be willing to coach? Here's the requirements. It's 2 hours commitment a week. And seeing who would be available. So if you think you might be wanting to coach, go ahead and let us know that this week. So that way it just cuts down on the things that the folks we have to contact next week. And like AJ said, I'd say 98% of the coaches are parents whose kids are participating in the league. Now, this can be a parent that leads the team, or it can be multiple parents. We've had teams where there's 2 or 3 parents helping out. We have, one person who's the contact and the other 2 are helping. So it just depends on what is good for that team. There is no exact way to do it. Every team's going to be a little different. And so what we're going to work on next week is getting all those no coach teams filled. If there are any teams left at the end of the week that still need a coach, we will look at scheduling a meet and greet for the team the week of August 30th, so that way we can talk to the teams in person and the parents can meet each other and find a coach at that point. We will have a coach assigned to every single team by September 11th, so I don't want folks to worry that they're going to miss a game because of it, that they won't have a coach. We do get a coach assigned. Some of them just take a little longer, and especially with the amount of kids we're going to have enrolled this season, we're going to need a lot more volunteer coaches. So just keep that in mind, and if you're willing to volunteer, we would love to have you, and please reach out to us. And then, like we said, if you have any questions, our emails are right here on this screen. You probably heard from us or seen our email somewhere. So please feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions. And we look forward to seeing you guys this season.